In the vast expanse of the Orion Arm, where stars clustered like forgotten jewels in the cosmic void, the war between the Zorith Empire and the Vexari Collective had raged for centuries. It began as a dispute over the resource-rich nebula known as the Veil of Shadows, a swirling mass of gas and plasma that birthed new stars and harbored exotic minerals essential for faster-than-light travel. The Zorith, a reptilian species with scales that shimmered like polished obsidian, were imperialists at heart, expanding their domain through brute force and hierarchical loyalty. Their fleets were massive, armored behemoths that plowed through space like ancient sea monsters, armed with plasma lances that could vaporize entire asteroids. Opposing them were the Vexari, ethereal beings of pure energy encased in crystalline shells, who valued harmony and collective consciousness above all. Their ships were elegant, almost organic constructs that manipulated gravity fields to dance through battlefields, unleashing waves of disruptive energy that could short-circuit enemy systems without a single shot fired. For generations, the two empires clashed in spectacular displays of destruction, their battles lighting up the void with the fire of dying suns. Planets were scorched, colonies obliterated, and entire species caught in the crossfire were reduced to footnotes in galactic history. But by the year 2478 in human reckoning, though neither side used such primitive calendars, the war had ground to a stalemate. Resources dwindled, populations wearied, and whispers of peace echoed through the councils of both empires. The Zorith Emperor, Krasik the Unyielding, faced mutinies among his legions, their scales dulled from endless campaigns. The Vexari hive mind, a pulsating network of linked consciousnesses, sensed fractures in its unity as individual nodes began to question the endless cycle of violence. Diplomatic envoys, cloaked in neutrality fields, met in the neutral zone of the Epsilon Eridani system, a barren rock orbiting a dim star far from the front lines. It was there, in a domed habitat module floating above the planet's dusty surface, that the armistice was forged. "The veil shall be divided," declared the Zorith negotiator, a grizzled admiral named Sarara, her tail twitching with restrained aggression. "Half for the Empire, half for your collective." The Vexari representative, a shimmering orb named Luminar 7, pulsed in agreement, its voice a harmonious chime echoing through translators. "Equilibrium restores balance. The war ends here." Words spread like a supernova's shockwave. Fleets disengaged, soldiers returned to their worlds, and the galaxy breathed a collective sigh of relief. The war should have ended. It would have, if not for the unforeseen variable: humanity. Earth's descendants had only recently burst onto the galactic stage. United under the Terran Alliance after the Great Unification Wars of the 22nd century, humans were a young, brash species, their ships sleek but untested, powered by quantum drives reverse-engineered from salvaged alien tech. They colonized the fringes of known space, probing the edges of the veil with mining probes and exploratory vessels. To the Zorith and Vexari, humans were insects, curious, perhaps, but insignificant. No one invited them to the peace talks. Why would they? Humanity's total fleet numbered in the dozens, while the Empire's commanded thousands. Captain Elena Vesquez of the TS Vanguard was the first to stumble into the fray. A veteran of border skirmishes with rogue AI enclaves, Elena was a woman forged in fire, sharp-eyed, with a cybernetic arm from a long-ago explosion, and a mind as tactical as any supercomputer. Her ship, a mid-sized cruiser equipped with experimental cloaking tech, had been dispatched to survey the Veil's outer rim for potential mining sites. Orders from High Command, her XO, Lieutenant Marcus Hale, had grumbled as they jumped into the nebula. "Grab what we can before the big boys notice." The Vanguard emerged from hyperspace into chaos. Sensor alarms blared as derelict ships tumbled past, Zorith hulks with gaping wounds from Vexari energy blasts and shattered crystal fragments that once formed elegant enemy vessels. "What in the void happened here?" Elena muttered, gripping the command chair. Scans revealed the nebula's riches, veins of Hyperium ore, the key to unlimited energy, floating untapped amid the wreckage. But they weren't alone. A Zorath patrol frigate, the Iron Claw, limped into view, its engines sputtering from recent repairs. On board, Commander Vorik eyed the human vessel with disdain. "Primitives," he hissed to his bridge crew. "They dare encroach on our territory?" The peace was fresh, but old habits died hard. Vorik ordered a warning shot across the Vanguard's bow, a low-yield plasma burst that scorched the shields but caused no real damage. Elena didn't flinch. "Hail them," she commanded. The translators crackled to life. "This is Captain Vasquez of the Terran Alliance. We're conducting a peaceful survey. Stand down." Vorik's response was a guttural laugh. "The Veil is Zorath domain now. Leave or be erased." That exchange ignited the spark. Back on Earth, Alliance High Command received the Vanguard's distress signal. Admiral Kira Novak, a strategist with a reputation for bold moves, saw opportunity in the crisis. "The empires are weakened," she argued in the war room, holographic maps flickering around her. "The Veil's resources could propel us centuries ahead. If we intervene now, we claim a seat at the table, or better, the whole damn feast." Humanity's intervention began subtly. Probes seeded the nebula with surveillance drones, mapping Zorath and Vexari positions. Then came the reinforcements. A fleet of 10 cruisers, led by the flagship Odyssey, jumped in under cloak. Elena's Vanguard linked up with them, her ship now a forward scout. "We've got intel on a Zorath mining outpost," she briefed the fleet via encrypted comms. "Take it, and we control a key Hyperium vein." The assault was swift. Human ships, smaller and more maneuverable, darted through the nebula's clouds, evading Zorath sensors. Railguns, primitive by galactic standards but devastating at close range, punctured the outpost's defenses. Zorath warriors, caught off guard, fought fiercely, their energy blades clashing with human power armor in zero-gravity corridors. Blood, red and green, floated in globules as Elena led a boarding party. "Secure the core," she shouted, blasting a reptilian guard with her plasma pistol. Victory was theirs, but at a cost. News of the raid reached the Zorath Emperor. "Humans? These upstarts dare challenge us." Krazak roared, slamming a clawed fist on his throne. The armistice held with the Vexari, but now a new front opened. Zorath fleets diverted to the Veil's rim, clashing with human forces in hit-and-run skirmishes. The Vexari, sensing the disturbance in the balance, dispatched observers. Luminar 7, now elevated to a war council node, pulsed with concern. The humans disrupt the harmony. Their intervention prolongs the suffering. But the hive mind debated: intervene against the humans, or exploit the chaos to reclaim lost territory. Dissent rippled through the collective for the first time in eons. As months turned to cycles, the middle phase of the conflict unfolded like a tragic symphony. Humanity's ingenuity shone through. They reverse-engineered captured Zorath weapons, integrating plasma tech into their arsenals. Elena, promoted to Commodore, commanded a growing armada. Her personal log entries revealed the toll. "We've lost good people. Marcus took a hit in the last engagement, shrapnel through the chest. But we're winning ground. The Veil's ours if we push." Push they did. In the Battle of the Shadow Rift, a narrow corridor through the nebula's densest clouds, human forces ambushed a Zorath convoy. Odyssey's captain, a grizzled veteran named Harlan Reed, orchestrated the trap. "Wait for my signal," he whispered over fleet-wide channels. As the Zorath ships lumbered in, human cloaks dropped, unleashing a barrage of missiles tipped with antimatter warheads, tech stolen from a Vexari probe. Explosions bloomed like flowers in the dark. Vorik's Iron Claw was among the casualties, its hull breached as the commander ejected in an escape pod, vowing revenge. "The primitives will pay," he broadcasted before capture. But humanity's aggression drew the Vexari in. A crystalline fleet materialized from hyperspace, their gravity wells pulling human ships into disarray. Luminar 7's voice echoed across frequencies: "Cease your intrusion, or face dissolution." Elena, aboard the Vanguard, faced her first Vexari encounter. Boarding a disabled crystal ship, she encountered a guardian drone, a swirling vortex of energy. "Why?" she demanded through her suit's translator. "This war was over. We're just claiming what's unclaimed." The drone's response chilled her. "Nothing is unclaimed in the collective. Your species is a virus, spreading unchecked." The ensuing battles were multifaceted. Zorith and Vexari, bound by their fragile peace, avoided direct confrontation but targeted humans independently. Yet cracks appeared. Zorith spies reported Vexari incursions into their half of the Veil, prompting retaliatory strikes. The armistice frayed. Humanity adapted. They formed alliances with fringe species, nomadic traders and exiled warriors, who provided intel and mercenaries. Elena met one such ally, a tentacled being named Quorix from the exiled Dravani clans. "Your fire intrigues us," Quorix bubbled through its aquatic suit. "We fight with you, for a share of the spoils." Together, they launched Operation Eclipse, a daring raid on a joint Zorith-Vexari monitoring station meant to symbolize the peace. Human stealth teams, augmented by Dravani hackers, infiltrated the station. Explosions rocked the structure as Elena planted charges. "This ends the old war and starts ours," she said, evacuating just in time. The station's destruction shattered the armistice. Zorith accused Vexari of collusion with humans. Vexari countered with evidence of Zorith aggression. Full-scale war reignited, with humanity as the catalyst and beneficiary. Fleets clashed anew, but now human ships weaved through the fray, picking off weakened targets. Elena stood on the Odyssey's bridge during the pivotal Battle of the Core, where the nebula's heart, a massive Hyperium deposit, hung in the balance. Zorith dreadnoughts lumbered forward, Vexari swarms danced in opposition, and human cruisers struck from the shadows. "All batteries, fire," Elena commanded. Railguns thundered, plasma lances replied, and gravity waves distorted space. In the chaos, personal stories unfolded. Lieutenant Arya Chun, a young engineer, jury-rigged a shield generator to withstand a Vexari assault, saving her ship. On the Zorith side, Sarara, the former negotiator, led a desperate counterattack, her frigate exploding in a blaze of glory. Luminar, 7, fragmented by the hive mind's discord, sacrificed itself to shield a retreating fleet, its essence dispersing into the void. As the battle raged, Elena received a priority hail from Admiral Novak. "We've got them turning on each other. Press the advantage." But doubt crept in. In a quiet moment, staring at the nebula's swirling colors, Elena confided in Quorix. "Was this right? We intervened, and now the galaxy burns again." Quorix's tentacles rippled. "Intervention is the nature of life. Without it, stagnation." The climax came when human forces, bolstered by captured tech, deployed a prototype weapon, the Nebula Disruptor. Forged from Hyperium, it emitted a pulse that neutralized both Zorith armor and Vexari energy fields. In a coordinated strike, Elena's fleet activated it at the core. Waves of disruption rippled out, disabling enemy ships en masse. Zorith and Vexari commanders, facing mutual destruction, broadcasted a joint surrender to humanity. "The war ends," Krazik's hologram declared, his voice broken. The hive mind echoed, "Balance is restored under new stewards." In the aftermath, humanity claimed the Veil. Elena, hailed as a hero, stood on a newly established orbital station, overlooking mining operations. The war should have ended without them, but their intervention reshaped the galaxy. Colonies flourished, alliances formed, but whispers lingered. Had they become the new empire? Years later, as Elena retired to a quiet world, she reflected in her memoirs. "We thought we were saviors. Perhaps we were conquerors. But in the stars, intervention is inevitable, and so is the next war." The galaxy, forever changed, watched as humanity's shadow grew long.